I didn't do none of that. Give me the max. I'm done. Give me the max. I don't care. Give me the max. I will prove to you.
Pause right here. When a defendant opens with "give me the max," that's not confidence, that's emotional overload. This tells us immediately, this sentencing is not going to be calm, controlled.
I will prove to you this whole courtroom.
This is People versus Dean Jacob DeMambro. The file number is 25-14039 FH. Appearances from counsel, please.
Joanna Carey for the people.
I'm Jeff Harrison. I'm here on behalf of Mr. DeMambro. I apologize.
Thank you. Mr. DeMambro joins us today via Zoom from a Department of Corrections facility. Mr. DeMambro, are you able to see and hear the court this morning, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Stapleton is also here today from the Michigan Department of Corrections, and he has prepared today's pre-sentence investigation report. We are here today for a sentencing in this case involving a conviction of 2 charges. The conviction stemmed from a jury trial that occurred back on August 26th of this year. We'll note that Mr. DeMambro is currently in jail because he had a parole violation. Is that right, Mr. Harrison?
I was unaware of that. He was convicted in Lake County.
Oh, okay. Was it another? Yes.
July 1st.
Thank you. I'm sorry. That's correct. So that's why the pretrial credit only ran from February 20th.
Right. July 1st.
This part matters more than it sounds. Because he was jailed on a parole violation, his credit for time served is limited. Translation: even before sentencing begins, the math is already stacked against him. Technical details like this quietly add months.
Excuse me. Thank you.
For all of those reasons, Your Honor, I would encourage the court to craft a sentence that does not unduly extend his stay in prison on the Lake County case. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nate Carnes, the Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, has now joined us in replacement of Ms. Carey. It's his file. I know he was running a bit late due to an auto issue on the way to the office. Mr. Carnes, did you have any amendments, questions, or objections to make to the content of the report?
No, Your Honor.
Allocution on behalf of the people, then, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. The thing that sticks out the most to me with this is that the defendant was traveling up to 85 miles an hour, driving on the wrong side of the road around blind curves while there was an infant in the car.
This is where the case turns dark. Speeding up to 85 miles per hour, wrong side of the road, blind curves, and an infant in the car. For judges, that combination flips a switch from rehabilitation to public safety. Question for you.
It's very disturbing to the people. And I heard most of what Mr. Harrison said. Yes, the defendant has high guidelines because of his priors, and this isn't his first flee and elude. This is extremely dangerous behavior that the defendant was found guilty of. I would urge the court to issue a sentence towards the top of the guidelines here. I'd recommend a sentence of 90 months.
Thank you. Mr. DeMambro, you have the right to make a statement if you choose to do so. I do recognize that you pled not guilty and were convicted at a trial. Is there anything you wish to say at this time, sir?
Yeah, I'm quite confused, as I have been this whole time. And it's hard for me, Your Honor. I'm trying to take your position as well as everybody else's, and I understand that there was a verdict reached. And I'm trying to be respectful to everybody, because I understand the process and I understand what's happened, and everybody has a job to do. I totally understand that. But what bothers me, okay, if I were one of them jurors that made that decision that day, okay, I would want to know everything regarding the case. Okay, I would want to know everything. And if them jurors were aware of everything regarding this case, that verdict would not have been reached. Because that officer is lying over and over. And I don't have to prove that. He's done it himself by his own testimony. And it was all hid from the jurors. And it's just hard for me to humbly sit here and, I'm so mentally exhausted, Your Honor, that I want this to be over with, but it's hard for me to just bite the bullet and it just take something when I know it's not true. And I mean, I can say that wholeheartedly. If you look at my past, my record, I haven't done, when I've been in trouble, yes, I've tried to get a good plea, but I've never taken it to this extreme. This is, Your Honor, I was offered a misdemeanor on this case and I didn't take it. That
This is a
should tell
risky
you.
move. Claiming the officer lied after a jury conviction is almost always a dead end at sentencing. Judges don't relitigate trials here. They assume the verdict stands. So
Take
every
it.
second spent
That should tell you my sincerity in what I'm trying to tell you. And I don't know what else to say. I just, if there's any way, like I said, I understand you all have a job to do, okay? But, I'm already in my classes here. I'm already signed up for Vocational Village. I'm at a facility here that has several different vocational trades that they teach. But I'm signed up for the tree trimming job that is the only one that guarantees you a job for when you're released, but it's in the Wayne County. But I don't care. I want away from that area anyway. So, but the point of it is, Your Honor, I'm in ASAT, which it's approximately 6 months, and then I go into the vocational trade sometime soon. My classes are all started, and this is going to throw a big wrench. I don't know. I feel like I'm asking too much, but then Your Honor, you've been doing it. You know that officer's lying. You can't tell me you don't. I mean, I don't know if you've watched his other testimony, but listen and read. I mean, you guys have all been doing this the guy is lying. It's not that he's a rookie, Your Honor. He is lying. It's not that he's just inexperienced. He's experienced in lying to you. And I mean, I feel like he's been, because he had a whole different attitude in this courtroom than he did in Lake. In Lake, he thought it was funny. He laughed as he lied, smirked, and it was like intentional. But up here, he tried to act more professional and more, I feel because of the difference in the courtroom. I believe I don't know. I can sit and, come up with all the reasons, but I know personally that the man's not telling the truth. Okay, Your Honor, I don't know what else to say. I can't tell you, hey, I did this when it's not true. I didn't do it. And I don't, and it's hard for me. And I mean, if I just want it to be over with, if there's any way that we can give me what I have and just be over with, I'll take it as, I'm going to try, no matter what you do today, Your Honor, I'm going to try to learn from this so that I can change my life and stop being the person I was yesterday, the day before, and be a new me and get out and be successful, because I'm not a stupid person and I'm not what my PSI says. I am capable of better things than this. And it's embarrassing for me to be sitting here in front of you, even though the circumstances and everything. It's embarrassing. And it bothers me tremendously because I know I was raised better than what what these PSI says, I want to live, Your Honor. I've done, I can't even tell you over 15 years, somewhere in there ever since I've been about 24, this has been my life and I can't seem to shake it. Please have mercy on situation. And understand that I'm being sincere. I'm not up here trying to pull your chain. You're a very smart man. I can tell it, and I can tell you're very, very good at what you do. Just take everything into consideration, please, Your Honor. I already have, everything in here is set for your ERD, which is 2/20, I think, of 27. And everything's already started, you know. Please take that into consideration. That's all I have to say.
Now the judge shifts gears, and this is devastating. This isn't just a criminal history review. It's a pattern analysis. Probation, bond, parole violated over and over. Judges call this failure on supervision, and it's one of the strong.
All right. Thank you. Before the court this morning is a 42-year-old man who has had a long history with controlled substances for about 25, 26 years. He has mixed failures and successes at rehab over the last, in and out of rehab programs for the last 25 years. The defendant's prior criminal history is impressive in a negative way. It started out with some juvenile issues back in '96. Looks like he got probation. He was off for about a year before he picked up his first set of charges as an adult. But that one was dismissed. So then he made it a couple of years and he picked up another case. Now in case 22 of 31, back in 2001, the defendant absconded from probation. In the midst of it, had probation violations, numerous violations, and numerous warrants. In fact, he only made it about 6 months between the date of sentence and the next case that he picked up back in 2001. In fact, he had multiple convictions. It's not merely that he had probation violations, but he had probation violations that resulted in convictions. He had about only within a couple more months did he pick up number 4 of 31. I'm sorry, that one, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, that one was dismissed, so I disregard that. But he picked up number 5 of 31 while on probation, number 6 of 31 while on probation. In fact, it's only 7 days after the one prior. It looks like he made it about 6 months before he picked up yet another violation of that same probation when he picked up 7 of 31. And then he did the same thing when he picked up 8 of 31, and that was all on probation. He made it a couple months before he picked up 9 of 31. And when I say a couple, I mean literally about 2 months and 1 week before he picked up the next one while on probation. Number 10 of 31 occurred while on probation. In fact, that occurred only 11 days after 9 of 31. He was doing terrible on probation. In fact, then he picked up 11 of 31. Actually, while on probation and while on bond for the other cases. 12 of 31 occurred 2 months after number 11, and he was still on probation. So, yeah, it's like the 9th case while he was on probation for number 2 of 31. Then it continues. 13 of 41. Looks like he had just been off of probation, but only for about a month. 5 months. 14 of 21 came only about a month after 13. Then he made it about 2 weeks before he picked up 15 of 31. Then a number 16, he was on bond, violated bond, picked up another case. Number 7 of 31. He was still on bond for number 15 of 31. So we're starting to see that he's violating bond, I don't know if he's ever completed probation successfully, but multiple probation violations. 18 of 31 occurred while on bond. 19 of 31 occurred while still on bond. And it was only a month after 18 of 31. 20 of 31 occurred while he was on parole. Then it looks like he had a sentence. Looks like 2 months later after being sentenced. I don't know, this must have occurred. All right, so you got 16 days in jail. And then after he got off of that, he had another violation. 21 and 22 occurred while on parole. 23 occurred while on parole. Between 23 and 24, he did make it about 3 years, but sure enough, we're getting back to failing. This is a flee and elude. So I've got repeated flee and eludes, R&Os, failing to comply with bond, failing to comply with probation, failing to comply with parole. So for number 24 of 31, which had that flee and elude and R&O and reckless driving, he out of Osceola County, he got 14 months to 2 years. So a prison stint didn't help that. Number 25 of 31, sure enough, we got another reckless driving and then a flee and elude. That occurred while on bond. Number 26 of 31, we have another R&O, and that's only about like 9 months after being off of probation or parole from the previous file. 27 of 31 occurred while on parole, and that one was resolved in April 12th, 2024. He made it 7 months before picking up this case in Lake County, not Osceola County, but Lake County and Wexford County, the ones that we're here for today. Now, before I talk, what's that?
28 is the Lake County convictions, not?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
Lake County. I
all
thought you
right.
said
I was
Osceola.
confused.
I thought
All
you
right.
said Osceola earlier, so I'm sorry, but
You may have that,
Yeah.
maybe why I got sidetracked.
then, while these cases were pending, what happened to 31 or 31? Did that get dismissed?
Yes, sir.
All
People
right.
did dismiss
All right, so I'll disregard that.
the next two files, 30 and 31.
Now, as to the officer, Officer Killingbeck, and this is conservation officer, not the trooper Killingbeck. It's one of the first times I'd ever seen him in court, and he did a pretty good job providing testimony. But I'll say, no matter what, his testimony was supported by the person, the woman, he left in the car with a kid. And his ID was in the car. So his attempts to try to tell me today that the officer was lying, even if I consider the officer not telling the truth, which I don't, the girl was in the car with the child and his ID. But he tends to run away. He tends to abscond. He tends to flee and elude. He tends to resist arrest.
She's admitted it wasn't me.
Stop talking. Do not talk again. You had your opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And we have 2 jury trials, which means 24 independent people who I cannot challenge and will not challenge have all found you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So there is no confusion for this court. You fled and eluded police officers, something that, by the way, you have a tendency to do.
Yeah.
You resisted arrest. You resisted arrest, which is something you have a tendency to do. You violated parole. Well, you violate parole almost all the time. You violate probation and bond in almost every single one of your convictions, which I think were approximately 25 convictions over the last 25 years. You're in and out of jail, on and off of probation, on and off of bond, on and off of parole, in and out of prison, constantly. And a jury conviction. So I don't think there's any part of your story that's true. And I can follow this route. Snookum Road down in Lake County. You take a left, start heading down toward Wexford County. You cross 33 Road, 48.5 Road, and this
I didn't
intersection.
do none of that. I didn't do none of that. Give me the max. I'm done. Give me the max. I don't care. Give me the max. I
Your
will
Honor,
prove to you this whole courtroom. Dean DeMambro didn't do this. And y'all know it. You're all lying. You're all in on it. Every one of you, Judge, you're full of crap. and you know it. You sat there and watched that
Your
man
Honor,
rot.
I would encourage the
Yeah.
court to just.
Whatever,
I-
fuck
no, no.
yous, eat shit,
The
you're all pieces
disadvantage
of shit. I don't give a
Mr.
fuck. Fuck
Harrison,
off.
I appreciate you trying to help your client, I really do, but you can't help that,
He ended the call.
okay?
It-
No, it's okay, Mr. Harrison, I know what you're gonna say, you're trying your best, you can't fix that. It's okay, I'm not angry at you, Mr. Harrison, I'm not
I
upset at you,
understand.
you're doing your best you can. I hadn't even gotten to the sentence. I can tell you it was less than what I came in with. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. The defendant has a right to be present in the courtroom, and I don't feel comfortable sentencing the defendant without him being present. So we will adjourn sentencing. This court will issue a writ to have him physically brought to the courtroom. The court will also add to this a contempt of court
And here's
charge.
the final collapse. The outburst didn't just delay sentencing. It added contempt of court, stacked consecutively. This is the courtroom version of snatching defeat from the jaws of mercy. So be honest. Did the judge give him chances? Or
A
was this
contempt of court charge and find he is left. Court will hereby sentences the defendant to 90 days. That 90 days, because he's currently serving in a prison, will run consecutive to whatever sentence he is currently serving. Then we will bring him in here for sentencing. I like how I went from being a very smart, great judge to being a lying, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember whatever he
The
said.
irony notwithstanding, I think it's pretty clear that there might be a mental health issue there as well.
I don't know if I could count stupidity as mental health. We are adjourned.